Hello again, welcome back to the Unloved JDM channel. So today I'm answering a few questions on the non-turbo Subaru, like are they actually worth buying? Personally, I think yes. My first Subaru was a non-turbo one for two reasons. One, I couldn't do the insurance on a turbo, and two, I couldn't find one at a decent price that I could afford. Now that was 10 years ago and I've had them pretty much consistently since then. No, I think I have had them consistently, and I've been lucky enough to go from the normal NA stuff up to the turbos and trading quite a few in between has given me quite a lot of experience with them, so I've kind of been there. Now, the main difference is obviously you've got your turbo and your intercooler at the top, whereas that one just has a big plastic airbox at the top and no turbo on it. But the reality is that they all use the same mount, so if you did get to a point where you wanted to swap it, it could be done, but it's not as easy as just swapping the engine and gearbox over. You have to do the entire wiring loom, which means all this stuff out, front wings off because the wiring loom's behind there, dash out as well. So it's not something you can knock out in a few hours. If it was, that'd be perfect, but it's not. And I've got to do that pretty soon on my silver car as well. So if you do want to see how that's done, make sure you subscribe while you're here, and then you won't miss it when it comes up. Another question I get asked a lot is just why? Why would you buy one? Like I said, there's obviously the benefits of insurance, stuff like that, but there's a running cost issue as well. I always find that the turbos are a little bit more, how can I put this? They're a little bit more harder to manage, shall we say. So for when you go in a non-turbo, you can just sort of get in and drive it like pretty much any other car. Even though they're still boxer engines, they're under less tension, they've got higher compression, but for some reason the turbo, you have to be a lot more careful with it because they're a lot softer in a sense. You do have quite a lot of issues with bottom end knock and all that other kind of stuff, but they are actually a little bit different to own, I think, personally. That's just my experience that I've had over the last 10 years with them. I would always happily have a non-turbo around as a daily, and I do with this one, as you guys who have been watching the channel for a little while know. This came to me with a knocking engine, no compression on one of the cylinders, but put an engine in it and it's been fine since I've had it, so I'm pretty happy with that, and it won't be staying for long. As I say, I've got the silver one to build, so I kind of want to put my attention to that. In the meantime, again, for anybody who's asking for updates on this thing, this is slowly coming back together. It's kind of counting on all the welding down there at the moment, and that's kind of what it's waiting for. And the Skyline, we had a bit of a switch around the other day, so we'll put the Skyline over there so it's easy to work around it, and then the Subaru there because I can drive it straight onto the ramp when I need to. But going back to the Subaru, the thing is, if you buy a standard NA car, they are a little bit different to how this one is. Let me just shut the bonnet. So on a standard NA car, you don't get the WRX suspension, which sits slightly lower. I'm not entirely sure what this is on at the moment. You don't get the 4-pot brakes. You sometimes don't get the side skirts. You don't get the bonnet scoop, and you don't get these seats, which this one, someone has put WRX seats in it, which quite frankly are a lot better than the NA seats, if I'm honest. Other than that, obviously there's modifications on this car, which like the stickers and the windows and whatever else, and the exhaust. But the exhaust brings me to another point. Now, the most noticeable thing with a Subaru is the sound of it. Now, that's mainly because of the exhaust system. So, on a standard NA car, it has an equal length exhaust manifold. So it just sounds like any other car. The sound on what you would expect from a turbo Subaru is actually from the front of the exhaust system, where it has an unequal length exhaust manifold. Now, on this one, it's already been done, but you can actually swap it. So instead of having the equal length on it, where it just sounds like a normal car, you can put the equal length straight onto it. You can buy them secondhand or used, new or whatever, and it bolts straight up, and it doesn't take that much work to do, and it sounds actually like Subaru when you've done it. So it's completely worth it. Again, I've done that on cars before and would always recommend that just because it's nicer. It just sits more at home. I know that these things are recognised for their performance, but as I said, depending on what you want the car for, personally, I do think they're worth it. So, yeah, if anybody ever has any questions about that, about these cars, feel free to drop me a message. I'm always happy to help wherever I can. Sometimes I'm a little bit busy, so I don't always get back to you straight away, but I will as soon as possible. That's it for now. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.